Okay, can we start with a moment of silence? Okay, thank you. Thank everybody for coming out. We'll get rolling. Even though we had a long moment of silence before that. This is lesson number 8. And what we're going to talk about today, radio functionality, correct procedures, and hands-on exercise. All right, provide an alternate means of communication, a two-way radio for organizations, businesses, agencies, individuals who will be providing services and assistance to others during times of emergency, disasters, when normal modes of communications are inadequate, interrupted, or non-existent. Provide newsworthy information and instructions from and to the community through the local and mainstream media. This is something that can also be used for events like last week, JWJ was giving out food, and so they had their radios on, and that way, if they needed any assistance or if they could assist someone else, they were available. All right, two-way radios come in basically two forms: a handheld radio um, and a mobile radio. This radio is called a portable radio. That's what Raul has, and this is called a mobile radio. Okay, it's more like a base radio. This is much more powerful. These usually only go about 5 watts. These go up to 50. They can actually go more than that too. Okay. Your radios come with an antenna. The antenna must be on the radio when you try to transmit on it, or else it's a possibility that you could damage the radio. Channel, it's the same as your TV or radio. If you want to connect with someone else, they have to be on the same channel. A repeater relays your message over a much longer distance than your radio can speak point to point. And point to point means radio to radio. Okay? We've seen this before, but I'll bring it up again. When we talk about a repeater, get out of there. That's this thing up on the top of the hill. Well, let's talk about point to point first. There's nothing in the way, there's no obstacles in the way of this individual and this base antenna. Okay? This is a radio station with a base. It probably provides communication for this housing development. Okay? This person over here, over on this mountain, can talk directly to them because there's no obstacles in the way. However, this base cannot talk to this vehicle basically because of this mountain. The radio waves are not going to go through the mountain. And they're definitely not going to be able to talk to this city or town over here. But now with this repeater up on top of the mountain, the radio can talk, the base radio can talk to the repeater, and then the repeater can talk to the vehicle. The repeater can talk to the antennas in this town. So that's what a repeater does. It repeats what the messages that come through it. And it's done in very quickly so that you really don't notice it. So this is what you call repeater communications. This up like this. This is point to point. Okay, and this basically, this is the mountain, and you can see he's cut off over here. This is the person that was talking directly in. He has no obstacles. But this is our situation point to point in New York City. You can't give an accurate range of how far your radio will work, because with all the obstacles, starting with the walls in your house, the window, the building next door, all the buildings around, you don't know. You have to test and find out where your radio works and how far it works. So, and let's say if you're in your house and near a window and you tell somebody else on the team, okay, go up to the next block, let's see if we can talk, and you keep going as far as you can go, okay, you know that from your window, let's say it can do that. But now from another window, don't be so sure that it's gonna work. So you're gonna have to find your dead points, point to point. Will somebody say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say something. This is Dykeman 177. Dykeman 177 has a question. Do you know exactly what's the range on the radios we have?
I just said so. I just said in the city, you cannot tell because there's too many obstacles. Some places it's going to work a longer distance than the others. If it was clear space, it would work miles. That goes back to this. If it's clear, no matter how far he is from him, if there's nothing in between, no trees, no houses, no mountains, no nothing, it can go a long distance. I worked in a situation where I had a straight line for 122,000 miles to a satellite, and it only took 40 watts. That's 8 times the amount of power that's in your hand. 8, not 80, not 100. 8 times to go 122,000 miles. Okay? So that is what it takes if you don't have any obstacles. But now if you have an obstacle like this mountain, like I said, you can't, it won't, trying to go point to point from this car to this antenna will not work. So that's why you have repeaters, and that's where you get your distance. Got it?
I got you.
All right.
Thank you much.
Okay. Okay. How GH Grand Houses will use their two-way mobile radio. This is Grand Houses, Dykeman, Johnson, everybody. Okay. Grand Houses is part of Manhattan North Network. Stu, is emergency in there or it's just straight? What is it?
We kind of go back and forth, Wally. We kind of use both terms, but it's I say either is correct.
Okay. Okay. So Manhattan North is all of the NYCHA housing developments between 96th Street and the top of Manhattan. Okay. That's Manhattan North. Okay, so this is a kind of like a little diagram to show you where your radio fits in. First of all, before we even get into Manhattan North, within your housing development, right within your housing development, we will be setting up, if it's not already set up, Grant houses are set up, Johnson houses are set up, but Johnson people, I don't know if they know about it yet, except for JWJ10. Um, you can talk to each other on your own channel without other houses developments or other people outside of your housing development talking to each other, okay, listening in. So you have your own private channel, and you have it to a point where you can even, especially with the Zello that we have, you could even set it up so that you can talk to anybody in your building that has the radio. No, not, I'm sorry. That has the phone. Can't do it with the radio. Okay? So it starts very small. You can have a walkie-talkie communication on your floor. Then you can have it throughout your building. Then you can have it throughout the entire housing development. And that's where we are. Coming out of the housing development, everybody comes into Manhattan North Emergency Network. Okay? Now, the next level with over here, this level over here should actually say New York North Network. That's the next level above Manhattan North Network. In New York North Network, and this is the group that we'll be working with in a couple of weeks. You have Manhattan North Network, you have Harlem Emergency Network, you have South Bronx Emergency Network, you have Northeast Bronx Emergency Network. We might have Harlem Hospital, and please don't do that. Schools, all in this network, New York North. We have the local media. Who's the local media? One of them is WHCR, 90.3 FM. We might have WBAI with us, okay? Because we do have a relationship with them. And any other local media, MNN and BronxNet, all of that we can connect into, all right? Then you have your local CERT teams, okay? And then you have citywide disaster services. Maybe next week I'll show you a clip of them, of what they really all about, but they were kind of like the originators of this whole thing, to be honest with you. This group here, Citywide Disaster Services, okay? Now, the next level, all of this is all on the same level, right? But the next level now is New York City Emergency Management and the Watch Command. That's where all the information from the city comes in. And this is what we call our back door. So if for some reason things got so bad that 911 stopped working, if our radio system is working, we can hit downtown and we can hit the headquarters downtown through the local CERT teams or through Citywide Disaster Services. We have radio connections with this group and with this group, all right? So if 911 don't work, we can go in through the back door this way, all right? New York City Emergency Management, that deals with what the next level, what they call the Situation Room, which is in the same building. I guess if they had to move out of there, they would, put it someplace else. But physically, it's in the same building, the situation room. And that's where the mayor or your commissioners, the governor, the president was in the city, they would all be working out of here. And all the information is coming through New York City Emergency Management, through their what they call their Emergency Operations Center. And everybody feeds into that. Everybody feeds into this EOC. Fire department, police department, hospitals, everybody, every city agency you can think of feeds in there. Every state agency feeds in there. Every federal, including the military, feeds into the EOC. Okay, so there's a lot of action going on down in there. Okay, and this is connected to what they call IPOS. This is well, I showed it to you before, but I'll show it to you again. The what do you call it? Can't think of the name right now. Anyway, this is where all of your information that comes over your media comes from, and all your warnings come from.
Yeah, public alert.
Huh?
All your public alert, right?
All your public alert, right? Integrated public alert warning system.
Warning.
Right.
System.
Thank you. I needed that one. All right. So that the radio that we have that Dykeman just showed us is very valuable, especially if other means of communication are not working. All right. Now this is there it is, integrated public alert and warning system. Okay. And the information comes in over here. It's divided up over here. This is like a gateway so the information that comes in is put where it needs to go. We don't need information from Texas of what the weather is like in Texas, in New York City or in Maine. And, Washington, the state of Washington, don't need to know what's happening in Florida. So this portion here sends the information where it needs to go. And then these are the different systems. The alert system that you hear on your TV that goes bang, 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 that never goes off in an emergency, that interrupts your program, And you have the same type of thing for commercial vehicles. Then you have your internet services. And you also have NOAA, which is the weather, the main weather industry. And then you have the state and local alerting system and future technologies. Okay, so that thing that we said was IPAWS, that's what this is the whole, what it looks like. Now over here where it says local, that's here, New York City Emergency Management. So you could see that information that comes from your floor, from your housing development, could end up over here by coming in here and coming out. Here's Manhattan. Is that you, Raul? Please stop. We need to.
No, that's not me.
That's not you? Okay.
That's not me.
Okay.
No, I'm on mute.
Good. All right. The Manhattan North Network, along with all the other in this group here, New York North, local media, the local CERT, and citywide disaster services all feed into New York City emergency management. And this emergency management is this local over here. So you can see that the information that you give can end up on all of these systems. And this is why we have to be very careful, and we have to, it's not what would I say? It's not a toy. We got to take this very serious, because you can see you can end up talking to the world through this whole situation. Okay. All right. I just like to, again, I like to go over where our regulations come from. And like I said, we got to be taken real serious. And I just want you to see how serious it is. CFRs are all the federal laws and regulations. CFR are divided into 50 title parts. Some examples are. And so all of the stuff that you're hearing on the news about the Supreme Court and the federal districts and all of that comes from this CFR. This is what they are basing all of the legal entities that they're dealing with. This this 50 parts is what runs the United States, okay? And part of that is telecommunications, all right? And telecommunications is part 47. You got 50 parts. Just because it's 47, that doesn't mean its priority is 47. It's just happened to be 47. It could be one. Whatever the situation is the priority, okay? So title part 47 is telecommunications. And so my point that I always stress here is that what we're dealing with, especially when we're dealing over the air, is very serious, because this is what the equivalent of the level of laws that you're dealing with. The same laws that the same book that the president got to deal with, you got to deal with in telecommunications. Okay? So we can't play with this thing. Okay? Now, the telecommunications, part 47, is run by the Federal Communications Commission. Everybody heard of the FCC. FCC is responsible for part 47, and the complete listing of all the federal regulations, if anybody's interested, can be found at this website. All right, the FCC regulates communications by radio, television, wire, satellite, and cable. FCC serves the public in the areas of broadband access, fair competition, radio frequency use, media responsibility, public safety, and homeland security. People don't know that FCC also does deal with homeland security. And so that's how we ended up getting into the emergency part of it. That's how we getting into the emergency management. Okay, FCC penalties. Now this is the thing. FCC, if you gotta have, if they got laws, they got penalties that go with it. And the maximum penalties can be up to $20,000 fine, and you can do 5 years in federal prison. So this ain't nothing to play with. All right, all the rules that they got is too many to try to memorize, but if you do what we ask you to do, pretty much you won't have any problem about the laws. Okay, what to say? We said that the unit that you're going to call, that's the unit that you call first, and then you say who you are. Even I hear, people that use radios on a regular basis every day, they do it opposite. But my point is that if a person is sitting waiting for a call. If you call them first, they will be aware. But if you call yourself first, especially if there's other traffic going on the air, they're not going to pay attention until they hear their call sign. So if their call sign comes second, they didn't hear who called them. But if you call them first, they'll pay attention to who's calling them. That's like, you know, you want to call the person across the street, but you call your name first. So the person across the street keeps walking until you call his name second. Then he turns around and looks, but he don't know who called him. So call who you want to call first, and then say who you are, and wait for the response. This is just an example. E between base W. Okay. This is what we're talking about here. Is the being that a two-way radio only has one person talking at a time, and you have so many people on there, there has to be some way to control this. And this is controlled by the network control operator. And they can have different names for a network control operator. It could be the base, it could be central, it could be the NCO, whatever name it is, that what they are they control the channel. And you need to talk to them first before you talk to somebody else. Okay? So that's basically what that's all about. Okay, code red. We spoke about this the other day. I want to repeat what this is all about. And anybody got any questions, you can stop me while I'm rolling through this stuff. Can't spell emergency, huh? Okay, if there's an emergency, if you are the network control operator and the code red comes in, the first thing that you should ask the person, or you can tell them, one or the other, if this is an emergency, hang up and call 911. Don't start with emergency with our network unless you can't get through on 911. If you can't get through on 911, then we take it from there. But we are not 911, and whatever the emergency is, you are delaying the response to it by calling, trying to get it through us, and then going to 911. So go 911 because they got billion-dollar systems set up. Use it. Don't try to use ours in place of it. Use ours as an alternate means if 911 doesn't work and we are up and working. And our whole purpose is to try to be up and working when other means of communications is not working. Okay? 911 may be working, but your phone may not be working. So then you have to come through us. But if you can get through to 911, you go there first. And anybody that calls in, if you're the network control operator, you direct them there first. Don't start taking their information. Okay. If they can't get through to 911 and you are going to take their information, the first thing you want to know is where is the emergency? Not what it is, not what the name is, what's going on, none of that. You want to know where is the emergency first, okay? Because if whatever it is, if it's interrupted and the line is still open and you can hear what's going on, at least you can direct somebody there. If you know what's going on, but you don't know where it's at, you can't do nothing, okay? But so you want to know, the first thing is to know where the emergency is, okay? And then you want to know what the circumstances are. You want to know if there's any injury. Is the person conscious or are they bleeding? Is it a baby, a child, an adult, elderly, male or female, or any weapons involved? And in the end, who's calling? And that's why when you take the post of a network control operator, you got to have a pen and pencil ready. Unless you a good typist and you have an extra, computer there that you can, type while you're listening. That's a skill that you have. You could use it. But other than that, you need to have a pen and pencil and write this down, because you there's no way that you're going to keep all this in your head and then relay it to where it needs to go. All right. Situation report. Okay, we've learned how to do a radio check. Everybody in here should know how to do a radio check. We're going to find out if you do. If you don't, you're going to learn today. And so a situation report is where you report your location and then you give your situation. And if your situation is normal and you're safe, that's what you say. If not, you briefly explain in plain language what the situation is. Okay? So you utilize this type of thing when, let's say, you have a something going on, like a 5-borough bike tour, and the traffic is backed up, and you have people at different locations that's reporting in how the traffic flows. Okay, so this is, let's say they're going to call in once an hour, so you're calling in your situation report once an hour. Okay, if things get hectic, you might have to call in every half hour. They're getting more hectic, it might have to be every 15 minutes. And if it gets worse, it might have to be every 4 or 5 minutes. You understand? But basically, what you're saying is what your location is and what the situation is. All right? Whoever the NCO is should try to repeat what they're hearing so that they make sure that they have it correct. Because this is where the information really counts to be correct. Because if someone is sick or dying or injured or help is needed right away and you don't have the right location, you didn't get it right, and the response goes 5-6 blocks away, that might be a matter of life and death. Okay, so this is real serious work. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to get ready to do some real work. Everybody that's on the line, starting out with GH1, okay, just, is GH1 here?
We going on the phone or
Well, I just want to do it now. I just want to get everything straight, and then we're going to the phone.
Okay.
GH1 is available.
Okay, GH2. Everybody write down whoever's here. We want everybody to write down whoever is here. So GH1 is here. WEBT2?
WEBT2 here.
Okay, write that down. CERN1 is here. GH4?
Who's that?
GH4.
GH4?
G Golf Hotel 4. GH.
All right.
Don't write it down if they don't answer.
Oh, okay.
It's GH3 here. GH2. GH9. Dykeman's 177.
Yeah.
Okay, write that down. Anybody on the line I didn't call?
Did you call
JWJ10.
JWJ10?
Oh, I'm sorry, JWJ10, okay? Anyone else? Okay, so we have WEBT2, GH1, JWJ10, Dykeman 177, and CERN 1. So what we're gonna do is, first we're gonna we'll do it before we get on the radio, before we get on the Zello. We'll do it here on the Zoom.
Excuse me.
So what I want everyone to do is this. Let's see. I want everybody, this script will be up. And so we do it the way we did it before. But the only thing that's different here is that the radio check script is not here. I want you to do the radio script, what you can do, what you remember from it without the script. Because when you do a radio check, you're not gonna have a script. Okay, so Stu and I'll start it out, and then we'll switch, and everyone else will try to do it. Okay. All right, Stu, I'll be red this time.
Okay.
All units, all units, all units. This is CERN 1 standing in as GH Central. Okay, except for a code red alert, Grand Houses Radio Network is now conducting an exercise on this channel until further notice. The time is now 20:07, except for a code red. I'm repeating, except for code red, Grand Houses Radio Network is now conducting an exercise on this channel until further notice. The time is now 20:08. Grant Houses is standing by.
GH Central, this is WEBT2 calling, over.
WEBT2, proceed with your message.
GH Central, can WEBT2 have a radio check, over.
WEBT2, GH Central hears you loud and clear. How do you hear GH Central?
GH Central, WEBT2 reads you loud and clear, over.
All right. GH Central is standing by, and the time is now 20:10. Okay. Now, actually,
excuse me, GH Central, don't you want to ask me for the situation?
Yes,
report?
yes. Okay. Let's go again from the radio check.
Okay. GH Central, this is WEBT2 calling, over.
Proceed with your message, please.
GH Central, can WEBT2 have a radio check, over.
GH Central hears WEBT2 loud and clear. How does WEBT2 hear GH Central?
GH Central, WEBT2 reads you loud and clear, over.
Okay. WEBT2, can I have a situation report, over?
GH Central, my situation is normal, and I'm currently located at in New Rochelle, New York, over.
Thank you for that. This is GH Central. The time is now 20:11. GH Central is standing by. Okay, and then at the end of it, we go all units, all units, all units. Grand Houses Radio has now completed its exercise. Grand Houses Radio has now completed its exercises. This is CERN 1 standing down as GH Central. The time is 20:12. CERN 1 is out. Okay, So the new part here is after the radio check. You got to do the radio check from memory. If you stumble, don't worry about it. We'll help you along. And we want you to do it until you get it right. So if I ask you to do it over again, just do it over again until we get it right. And after you do the radio check, you ask for a situation report.
The NCO asked for the situation report, right, Wally?
Excuse me?
The NCO asked for the situation report.
Yeah, so we'll do that. Right.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, who's GH1? You ready?
Copy.
Okay. You're gonna read in the green for now.
Okay.
All right. All units, all units, all units. This is CERN 1 standing in as GH Central. Except for a code red alert, Grand Houses Radio is now conducting an exercise on this channel until further notice. Repeat, except for a code red alert, Grand Houses Radio Network is now conducting an exercise on this channel until further notice. The time is now 2013. Grand Houses Central is standing by.
GH Central. This is GH1. Over.
GH1, proceed with your message. Over.
GH Central. The following is my situation report.
No. At this point, I want you to do a radio check by memory.
Oh, you want to do a radio check? Oh. GH Central. This is GH1. Over.
Proceed with your message, GH1.
Yeah.
Over.
Yeah, GH Central. GH1 would like to have a radio check, please.
GH1, GH Central hears you loud and clear. How does GH1 hear GH Central? Over.
GH1 hears GH Central loud and clear. Thank you. Over.
Can GH Central get a situation report from GH1? Over.
Yeah, situation is normal. And my location is General Grant Houses. Over.
Okay. All right. That's good. Let's go by a street and a cross street.
Okay.
Okay. So let's go with the Grant. Let's do the whole thing over again.
Okay.
Okay. All units, all units, all units. Standing. This is CERN 1 standing in as GH Central. Except for code red alert, Grand Houses Radio is now conducting an exercise on this channel until further notice. The time is now 2015. Except for code red, Grand Houses Radio Network is now conducting an exercise on this channel until further notice. Time is 2015. Grand Central is standing by. Grand Houses Central is standing by.
GH Central. This is GH1. Over.
GH1, proceed with your message.
GH Central. This is GH1 for a radio check, please.
GH1, GH Central hears you loud and clear. How does GH1 hear GH Central? Over.
GH1 hears GH Central loud and clear. Thank you. Over.
GH1, can GH Central have a situation report? Over.
Situation report is normal. Location between LaSalle and Amsterdam Avenue, Grand Houses. Over.
Thank you for that situation report. Okay, all units, all units, all units. Grand Houses Radio has now completed its exercise. Grand Houses Radio Network has now completed its exercise. This is CERN 1 standing down as GH Central. The time is 2016. CERN 1 is out. Okay, so now GH1, you become GH Central, and JWJ10, you are the radio, asking for the radio check in green.
Okay.
All units, all units, all units. This is GH1 standing in as GH Central. Except for a code red alert, Grant Houses Radio Network is now conducting an exercise on this channel until further notice. The time is 2016. Repeat, the time is 2016. GH Central is standing by.
GH Central, this is JWJ10. Can I have a radio check? Over.
GH Central hears you loud and clear. How does you hear GH Central? Over.
JWJ10 hears GH Central loud and clear. Thank you. JWJ10 is standing by. Over.
GH Central is asking for a situation report. Over.
GH Central, the following is my situation report. My location is West Harlem. My situation is normal and safe. Over.
All units, all units, all units. Grant Houses Radio Network has now completed its exercise. Repeat, Grant Houses Radio Network has completed its exercise. This is GH1 standing down as GH Central. The time is 2018. GH1 is out.
Okay, great. Okay, let's do it again. JWJ10 location needs to be a block. Your block that you're on and the cross street. So like if you're on 3rd Avenue and 116th Street, that would be the way we're doing it.
Okay.
We're doing cross streets at this point.
Okay.
Okay. And yeah, don't forget, you can't stand by and be over at the same time. Standing by means you're not expecting a response, and over means that you are expecting a response. So you see the standby or over. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so let's go over it again.
All units, all units, all units. This is GH1 standing in as GH Central. Except for a code red alert, Grant Houses Radio Network is now conducting an exercise on this channel until further notice. The time is 2019. Repeat, the time is 2019. GH Central is standing by.
GH Central, this is JWJ10 for radio check. Over.
GH Central hears you loud and clear. How does JWJ hear GH Central? Over.
JWJ10 hears GH Central loud and clear. Thank you. JWJ10 is standing by.
GH Central, the following is my situation report.
No, you want their situation. You're asking JWJ10 for their situation report.
I'm so used to sit rep. I'm sorry. They used to do it short with the Navy. All right. JW10, GH Central is looking for a situation report.
GH Central, the following is my situation report. My location is 112th Street between Lexington and 3rd Avenue. My situation is normal and I am safe. Over.
All units, all units, all units. Grand Houses Radio Network has now completed its exercise. Repeat, Grand Houses Radio Network has now completed its exercise. This is GH1 standing down as GH Central. The time is 2021. GH1 is out.
Okay, great. Okay, JWJ10, you are GH Central, and Dykeman 177, you are in the green. Okay.
All units, all units, all units. This is JWJ10 standing in as GH Central, except for a code red alert. Grand Houses Radio Network is now conducting an exercise on this channel until further notice. I repeat, Grand Houses Radio Network is now conducting an exercise on this channel until further notice. GH Central is standing by. Over? No, I'm standing by.
You're standing by, right?
Okay.
Okay. Dykeman 177, you're not. You're in the green. Dykeman 177.
Unmute yourself, Dykeman.
Okay, I got you. GH1, this is Dykeman 177. May I have a radio check? WJ10. Over.
GH Central hears Dykeman 177 loud and clear. How does Dykeman 177 hear GH Central? Over.
Dykeman 177. Here's J10. Loud and clear. Over.
GH Central is requesting a radio check? I mean, a situation report?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. GH Central is requesting a situation report. Over.
Dykeman 177 to WJ10. My situation is Dykeman and Nagel. My situation is normal and safe at this time. Copy.
All units, all units, all units. Grand Houses Network has now completed its exercise. I repeat, Grand Houses Radio Network has now completed its exercise. This is GH Central. JWJ10 standing down as GH Central. The time is 2025. JWJ10 is out.
Okay. Okay, great. Okay. Dykeman 177. When you're talking to them, you're talking up in the beginning, JWJ10 said that they are taking over as Grand Houses GH Central. So that's who they are. They're not JWJ10 anymore. They GH Central. Okay.
Okay, I got
kind of keep that in mind. The other thing is when you said over, then GH Central should, you asked to copy that, and there should have been a response like I copy that, or I understand.
Copy.
Right. He said, did you copy that? And you should have said, I got it, or I copied it,
Correct.
right?
Mhm.
Okay, so let's try it again.
All units, all units, all units. This is JWJ10 standing in as GH Central. Except for a code red alert, Grant Houses Radio Network is now conducting an exercise on this channel until further notice. I repeat, Grant Houses Radio Network is now conducting an exercise on this channel. GH Central is standing by.
GA Central, this is Dykeman 177. May I have a radio check, please? Over.
This is GH Central. Wait. This is GH Central. I hear Dykeman 177 loud and clear. How does Dykeman 177 hear GH Central? Over.
GA Central, Dykeman 177 hears you loud and clear. Over.
GH Central, Dykeman 177, can you give GH Central a situation report? Over.
GA Central, Dykeman 177. Location, Dykeman and Nagel Avenue. The situation is normal and safe. Copy.
Copy. All units, all units, all units. Grant Houses Radio Network has now completed its exercise. I repeat, Grant Houses Radio Network has now completed its exercise. This is JWJ10 standing down as GH Central. The time is 2028. JWJ10 is out.
Okay, that's very good. I'm not going to go all to the radio now because we're kind of running out of time. We'll do that. We'll go straight to the radio at our next session. But that was very good. And I see that everybody can remember how to do it. Raul, did you do the Central yet? No. So now you're the Central. Yeah.
And red?
You're the Central. You work with WEBT2. You're the Central. In the red.
I got you. Okay. All units, all units, all units. This is Dykeman 177 standing in as GA Central. Except for a code red alert, Grant Houses Radio Network is now conducting an exercise on this channel until further notice. The time is 2029 hours. Repeat, 2029 hours. GH Central is standing by.
Go ahead, Stu.
GH Central, this is WEBT2 calling, over.
This is GH1, EBT2, go to message.
GH Central, can WEBT2 have a radio check? Over.
WEB2, GH1 hears you loud and clear. How do you read GH1? Over.
GH1, WEBT2 reads you loud and clear. Over.
Now this is GH1.
GH Central.
GH1 Central. I need a situation report. Copy.
Copy. GH Central, WEBT2 location, Webster and Lockwood Avenue. Situation is normal and safe. Over.
Copy. All units, all units, all units. Grant House Radio Network has completed its exercise. Repeat, Grant Houses Radio Network has completed its exercise. This is GH1 standing down as GH Central. Time is 20:31 hours. Repeat, 20:31 hours. GH1 is out.
Okay, now you forgot who you were. You're not GH1. You're Dykeman 177. So you're either GH, in this situation, you're either GH Central
Okay, I see. Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
Dykeman 177. Okay.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Got it? Okay,
Yeah,
Stu,
I should've-
I made an error there.
I
I
should've
should have been the one to do it because you did it the first time, right?
No problem.
Yeah.
No? Okay. The other thing is that I
I'm
want
good, man. I'm good, sir.
to congratulate JWJ10 because she picked up on my mistake. My mistake is that the repeat should have been before the time is. In other words, what was to be repeated was, except for code red alert. That's what should be repeated. And then after that, the time. And she picked up on that. That's very good. All right, go ahead. One more time.
All units, all units, all units. This is Dykeman 177, standing in as GH Central. Except for a code red alert, Grand Houses Radio Network is now conducting an exercise on this channel until further notice. The time is 20:32 hours. Repeat, except for code red alert, Grand Houses Radio Network is now conducting an exercise 20:33 hours. Standing by. Copy.
GH,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
GH Central, this is WEBT2 calling, over.
WEB2, proceed with your message.
GH Central, can WEBT2 have a radio check, over. GH Central, can WEBT2 have a radio check, over.
GH Central hears you loud and clear. GH1 hears WEB2 loud and clear. Over.
Don't forget, you got to ask him, how does he hear you?
WEB2, how do you hear GH1?
GH Central, WEBT2 reads you loud and clear, over.
GH1, may I have a situation report? Over.
GH1, WEBT2 situation, safe and normal. Current location is Western Lockwood Avenue, over.
Copy that. Over. All units, all units, all units. Grand Houses Radio now has completed its exercise. Repeat, Grand Houses Radio Network has completed its exercise. This is GH1. This is Dykeman 177, standing down as GH Central. Time is 20:34 hours. Dykeman 177 is out. Copy.
Okay, great. We're gonna move forward. Okay, on Monday, December 21st, New York Central is planning a 24-hour drill. We would like the members of this class to participate in this drill. To prepare for the drill, you should be sure to call in to Manhattan North Network weekly radio check on Tuesday morning from 0800 to 1000. So next Tuesday morning, if you're available, of course, if you're not available, you can't do it. Everyone should try to call in for a radio check. And maybe you should call in once or twice, or maybe even 3 times, just to get the feel of it, and try to do it without reading it. Just your end. Call in and say,
Mhm.
uh, Manhattan North Central, can I have a radio check? And just go back and forth with that, and that's it. So that would be good practice for the 24-hour drill. Okay. After the class, we're gonna go. We'll do our class, and toward the end of the class at 8 o'clock, that is when the meeting is going to be for everybody that's going to participate in that drill to have a briefing for the exercise. All right. What I'd like for us to do now, I don't know if we can do it, but I'd like for this class to take maybe a 4-hour stretch. Now, what does that mean? That doesn't mean that you would be on for 4 hours. If we have 4 people, that means that you would only be on for 1 hour. Now, when I say on, I'm saying that you would be the network control operator for 1 hour. Okay. And if we have 4 people, each person would relieve the next person for, and we could do it maybe from 1600 to 2000, or from 1800 to 2200, or from 2000 to midnight. If you can't do that, if we can't, we can do what we can do. This it's not, mandatory, not demanding that you do it, but this is like a framework that we can work from. Anything back from this is good. Okay. And I feel that if we did that 4 hours, the class did the 4 hours, each person doing 1 hour, that would be complete the course, because that, from that point on, you're working with the network. So that's what I'm hoping that we can do. So my question would be that uh, everyone in the class kind of figure out what hour they would be available. And maybe it doesn't even have to be everybody at the same time. When I say everybody at the same time, and everybody in the group, but it would make the life a lot easier if everybody in the group can, go from one to the next. So is everybody understanding what I'm trying to get at?
No problem. I got you.
Copy that.
JWJ10, you available?
I don't know if I'm available, but if you, I will try to. You just got to let me know the times that we're picking.
Okay. GH1, are you available?
Yeah, I'm definitely available, and I'm gonna rev the team up. I've been calling all day long for them, so we be ready though.
Okay. So we, some kind of way, well, I'll talk to Stu, and you and Stu figure it out how to, come together with what it is. But what I'm saying is, if you can get 4 people that can take 1 hour apiece, then what they'll be doing is that they'll be the NGO, and they may be that 4 hours and never say anything because nobody never called.
Right.
Or they may be talking their head off. You don't know. But I don't want anybody to feel that they're gonna be left out there by themselves.
Right.
We'll be there with you,
Okay.
And I figure if we finish that
So,
up, that's the class.
so when you say be there with us, we'll have our radios on and be on the Zoom link to support each other in that way.
The way I'm envisioning it is, let's say, the same way we just did this. The first hour, let's say, is GH1. Then JWJ10 comes in and relieves GH1 second hour. Then Dykeman 177 comes in and relieves JWJ 10 third hour. And then let's say GH9 comes in and relieves Dykeman 177 for the last hour.
But we will not be on Zoom to answer your question, JWJ Tim.
Oh, that's what you asked.
We would just be on the phone on the Zello.
No, this time we're going to be on radio too.
Okay.
But
But that's what I'm saying. I understand. I know we're going to be on the radio, but as far as feeling or being supported, I wanted to know what we're going to do, either Zello to be supporting everybody or Zoom.
Okay, well, when that comes up, Zoom will be up. I'll be with you on Zoom. I'll be backing you up on Zoom.
Thank you.
Okay, great idea, Janet.
Okay. And what we want to do, just as I mentioned, each time that we do this, we want to make it a little more challenging. And it's not about, people worrying about mistakes and all of that. It's us learning how to develop it, because the ultimate goal is to have these channels working 24/7. And as more and more people come in and more and more people know how to do this, then we can do it. So that if something goes down, bam, we already up and running. And in this day and time, you don't know what to expect. Okay, so I'll talk this through. Any other questions or announcements?
Well, like I say, we get geared up. We're in the home stretch right now, and right now we're looking we're in pretty good shape. So
I think so.
Get better and better.
Okay, I just want to also say to let GH1 know that the radios are coming in on Monday, so that hopefully by the time we do the 24-hour exercise the following Monday, we can have radios in your folks' hands so they can participate on both the radio and the smartphone platform.
Oh man, that'd be a beautiful gift for them.
Yeah,
'cause we're gearing up. I'm tripling up on paperwork and everything, man.
Yeah. Okay.
So, it's all good. I'm having fun with it, but it keeps me sharp.
I hear you. Mm-hmm.
Anybody else doing that, they stay sharp too.
Okay.
Okay. Moment of silence.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm out.
Okay, just want to remind everybody that if you want to review any of these classes, the videos are up. Go to ghcr.nyc and click on emergency radio training, and all the classes are right there on our YouTube channel. So just go to Grand Houses, ghcr.nyc, and you can review all the classes. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. See you all on Tuesday. And please try and call in if you can for the radio check Tuesday morning between 0800 and 1000 hours on Manhattan North Central on your Zello. Thank you.
Stay safe.
Okay. Stay safe. Bye-bye. Good night.